Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And the mainstream media are trying to make the word globalist a bad word, one you shouldn't say, because it's an anti-Semitic slur. This level of stupid is beyond even parody. I mean, even if it was true, is the mainstream media trying to tell us that the world is run by a cabal of Jews? That's the only conclusion you can take from this. But it's so wrong. It's just weird. And why would a newspaper want to try and alienate everybody from using the word globalist? We all know what globalists are. They're wankers. But let's look at the article. So, globalist is an anti-Semitic slur that should be banned, argues the legacy media. Well, no, it isn't. Anyway, look, a debate has emerged in Britain over the term globalist, with elements of the legacy media and social media arguing that using the word to describe the political ideology of the preferring superstate over the actual state is actually a racist term against Jewish people. Now, I can't understand their meaning here. Are they saying that the world is run by a Jewish cabal? I suspect what this is the mainstream media looks at its globalist overlords and is trying to protect them, or has been ordered to protect them, because the globalist overlords don't like us common oiks calling them a bunch of elitist bastards. But anyway, following what many, such as Brexit leader Nigel Farage, have described as a globalist coup to install former Goldman Sachs banker and World Economic Forum acolyte Rishi Sunak as Prime Minister, left-wing figures have attempted to make the very term globalist an off-limits slur, claiming it is anti-Semitic. The joke here will become apparent, right? Last week, Nigel Farage tweeted, "Jeremy Hunt is now running the country. This is a globalist coup." Mr Farage went on to make similar comments following the installation of Grant Shapps as Home Secretary. The statements were condemned by Jewish groups, despite the fact that Mr Hunt is not Jewish, but rather a member of the Church of England. Mr Shapps come from a Jewish family. Criticising the use of the term, Marie van der Zyl, the president of the Board of Deputies of British Jews, says anti-Semitic experts, such as the Anti-Defamation League, identify globalist as a common anti-Semitic trope based on conspiracy theories about international Jewish power. Politicians should avoid using the term, particularly when referring to Jewish individuals. Jeremy Hunt, not a Jew. Rishi Sunak is a Hindu. There's a clue there. Not a Jew. Donald Trump, not a Jew. Vladimir Putin, not a Jew. I can't remember the name of the guy in China. Not a Jew. The linguistic dispute came to a head on Sunday when a caller to LBC radio station echoed Mr Farage's statements in describing Sunak as a globalist who doesn't seem to love England. Well, that's true. He still has his American green card. His wife is a foreign national for tax purposes. And this multi-billionaire can fuck off once he has destroyed this country, which is his plan. An unelected not just by the people of this country, unelected by his own party members. He's an imposition and he is a globalist. But he's hardly a Jew, is he? He's not Jewish. He's a Hindu. So calling him a globalist and saying that that's an anti-Jewish slur is a load of old crap, isn't it? The level of stupid is strong. For this remark, LBC host Sangeeta Miska, another non-Jewish person, formerly of the BBC, chastised the caller, saying, "As we continue this conversation, please don't use the phrase globalist again, because many of my Jewish listeners will find that incredibly offensive, because it also has been used at times as a racist put down to the Jewish community." That's not true, the listener shot back. If I meant Jewish, I'd say Jewish. Commenting on the exchange, Mr Farage, who was previously a host for LBC, lamented, "Words are being banned by mainstream media. This is not good. It's a destruction of free speech for a start. And once you start saying certain words cannot be used, you have got no free speech. And what other words won't be used? Because if it starts with one, it's an ongoing process, and eventually you end up with a dictatorial state. And we're already on that way. That road is well travelled at the moment." Mr Farage also shared the OED's definition of globalism, which states the belief that events in one country affect those in all other countries, and that economic and foreign policy should benefit the world as a whole instead of individual countries. No one mention of the word Jew. Anglican deacon and GP News host Calvin Robertson also took aim at the language policing from the media, and writing on social media, he said, "Be wary of anyone who is globalist and thinks Jews. As ever, they are the very thing they accuse us of. A globalist is a politician who operates on an international perspective rather than a local or national perspective. It's only a slur in the mind of anti-Semites." Yeah, so if you hear the word globalist and you think Jewish, you're the anti-Semite. People who hear the word globalist and think bunch of wankers, they're normal people. Political commentator and spiked columnist Ben Pyle noted that the origins of the anti-globalist movement were left-wing in nature, highlighting the protests against the World Trade Organization, such as the anti-capitalist Battle of Seattle in 1999, in which black bloc anarchists rampaged through American City, smashing businesses along their way, and it's been estimated that Seattle businesses lost some 20 million in lost sales and property damage during the protest. It's a left-wing term. It's again the left wing eating themselves. Pyle went on to note that the BBC itself previously described the movement as thus: the anti-globalisation movement is made up of a variety of causes, including environmentalism, debt forgiveness, animal rights and the protection of children, anarchism and anti-capitalism. Most of the movement's adherents believe that globalisation leads to exploitation of the world's poor, workers and environment. That's the BBC describing globalism. Because even the BBC are so fucking stupid, they forget what their own words are. And meanwhile, they get these right on woke wankers going, "Oh, you can't say that because it's anti-Jewish," which it's not. "Oh, you can't say that because it's a word that some people find offensive." The only people who find it offensive are anti-Semites. Because everyone else knows they hear the word globalism, globalist, things like that. They think of the elite, they think of the entitled, and they think of a bunch of wankers. And that's what the BBC's become. It's what most of the media is becoming. You cannot have anyone on the left tell you what to do because they're all stupid. You only have to look at the things they do and say. The BBC is a hotbed of bloody Marxism, and now it's trying to destroy free speech. So screw you, BBC. Despite its left-wing origins, the term has since become a key phrase used by populists on the right, deployed by nationalist figures such as Donald Trump and Nigel Farage to differentiate themselves politically from corporatist and internationalist elements on both the left and right, mostly on the left, who are in favour of institutions such as the European Union and the World Economic Forum, as opposed to those who favour a more localised focus for governments. Populist is another term that they're trying to get out. They always try and make it a terrible term. "Oh, he's a populist. Look at that. It's bad. He's a populist." Populist means popular, because the people like them. "Oh, the people like this policy. It's a popular..." "Oh, you're a populist." Yeah, because the one thing the elite hate is people. They hate the people, and they hate the people to have power, so they don't want anyone to rise on a populist agenda, because that person might get into power and destroy what they have cultivated, which would be no bad thing. Anyway, enough of this. I'm going to come up and round off. They really are sort of pushing the boat out to try and stop people hating them, aren't they? "Please don't use this word. Oh, we'll make this word wrong. Don't think like that. Don't look at him. He's populist." The more they push an agenda like this, the worse the words will be. You cannot stop us calling you a globalist if you're a globalist. And you cannot change the word globalist to mean Jew. It does not mean the same. If I wanted to describe someone as Jewish, I'd use the word Jewish. When I want to describe a complete and utter elitist wanker, I'll use the word globalist. That's how it works. And the more you crush down, the worse the names will get. But it is about time we took away from you all your power. We need a revolution across the world because people need to rule themselves, not be ruled by this little cabal who seem to think that they can control who we are, what we say, what we think. It's about time that stopped. And it's about time I stopped. So thanks for listening. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notification of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, say and think exactly what you like, and goodbye.